Good day and good evening, and welcome back to Roulette Live with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. So, as usual, I have the Wheel of Jobs ready, and we will be aiming for about 10 Roulettes, or 3 hours, give or take, whichever actually comes last, you could say. So, which is to say, if possible, we will probably do 10 Roulettes, and then, well, we will go for 3 hours, and then we'll see if we did 10. If we're close, we might go overtime to get the last. But if we somehow reach not 10 Roulettes in 3 hours, something happened. And that's usually a good sign. Let's just say, if I don't get 10 Roulettes in 3 hours, then something happened. Like, I don't know, like Sephiroth Extreme. I don't know. Anyway, hey Aradil, hey Taldamar, hey Shorokai, hey Sally, hey Rumble, hey Lana, hey Rust, hey Jake, hey Zaf, hey Naomi, hey Agent Monica, hey Darkrin, hey Tubby, hey Gazel, hey Ilya, hey Noja, and hey Bob, and hey Fern. Hope you're all doing very well. Yeah, I saw people were betting guild test count. If we get a lot of guild tests, that usually means we get the 10 really quickly. And also to your point, Rust, about the YouTube notification, remember that the weekly schedule that I put up on Sundays, sometimes Mondays, shows that there is this change in the schedule. The reason why we're streaming today and not tomorrow is because I have some family stuff on the Saturday, so I straight up can't. That is also usually the reason. It's either me or someone else in the raid team that has stuff in the weekend when we're doing Savage raids on the Tuesday. Is like generally that's like the herald of something is up here. If you see that the Savage stream is early in the week, then something weird is going on with the rest of the schedule. However, there will be Mythbuster tomorrow, so it doesn't mean there's nothing. Rumble says Blue Mentor Roulette when? Well, I can't queue as Blue Mage, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that is an interesting point. I didn't even consider that the new Alliance raid would be in it, but it is. Right then. Where are we starting? Hey Mew and Fila, hope you're doing well. We're starting with Monk then. I will queue when it says 40 there. That is wild, Fern. I'll say the third boss is quite something, but we somehow wiped 0 times on day 1. No worries, Rust. It was also just more like a general reminder. A lot of players, a lot of people I feel like don't even realize that there is a weekly schedule. So like, oh, when I mention it. And I'm also interested to see what they have installed for Beastmaster, but I don't think too hard on it, because if we start to think, like, to dream up what it could be, it's probably not going to be that. Like, it's straight up just not going to be that. And while you could be lucky and what it actually becomes is something better, I find that it is a lot more likely that whatever you could dream it up to be is probably going to be a lot cooler than what it actually will be. I'm not saying it like, oh, they can't ever live up to expectations. More like, when we think about the ideal situation of any job, it's very easy to dream up something that just straight up isn't happening. Like, you could do that for any job, and you would probably run into the same problem. And that is true, as Aradel says, that the schedule is always the newest in the schedule room on the Discord. It's always pinned on the other social media. I cannot pin it on YouTube, so that's why it's not pinned here. But it's posted every Sunday, and you can just like save the image if you want it on your PC or your phone or whatever. And I put like there's a longer explanation of what it is specifically here on YouTube and on Discord that can't be there on the other social media platforms because very little like text space. But like it's all there to explain what is happening. Sometimes also why. But there's also an image. Hey Caitlin, hope you're doing well. And hey Hazel, hope you're doing well as well. Zav says, I also had no wipes in the new Alliance raid day 1. I only used healer limit break like 3 times. If I remember correctly, on the 3rd boss, one of the alliances healer LB'd like 3 or 4 times. The main reason why the other teams didn't, I think there was something janky going on. So we just couldn't. Hey, Melodious, hope you're doing well. The rewards for Mentor Roulette are basically the only thing that really stands out is this. It's a really old mount. It's mainly just like a thing to do. Hey Phil, hope you're doing well. Yeah, exactly, the 15-minute 3rd boss fight. I am wondering how it's going to be next week. Because as long as we have the problem of a lot of people dying, those players might not progress their ability to do the fight very quickly. And it could mean that it'll take several weeks before people get it consistent. And yeah, that's kind of how it goes, Caitlin. Even, like, the thing is, every expansion will add, like, if you don't do all of the stuff in the expansion, it'll add, you know, a whole list to go through. And if you haven't completed the lists previously, then it'll just get longer and longer. Phil says, I remember back in late Stormblood and early Shadowbringers, anti-mentor sentiment meant anyone who had the Astrope was actually a bad mentor. Who even knows? Who even knows? See, the thing is, it's just like people assuming that if you have the mentor crown, you're bad, or if you wear a legend title, you're bad. Like, yes, that one too. It's basically players trying to add a correlation when there isn't one. Hey, Truck Driving Gamer, thank you so much for celebrating 8 months as part of the Cult of the Pink with me. Thank you. See, I'm catching up on your streams on Tuesday. I love the new content so much. Will you farm the new extreme much? We haven't tried it yet. I discussed it briefly with my static, and we decided that... Oh, queue time. We decided that... oh boy. We decided that we would rather focus our energy on M8S until we finish that. And when we finish that, we'd probably want to focus our excess energy on beating Ultimate Weapon. Ultimate, speaking of. So, I don't know when, but we will probably get around to it eventually. At present, a large part of the static is doing, like, mostly weekly farms of the 3rd extreme to get mounts. And I could definitely picture that we would move on to the 4th extreme when we're done with that. But I don't know about the 5th one. We'll probably get there eventually. Thank you, Erdil. And yeah, pretty much, Noja. I had a I briefly discussed it in the context of a Mentor Roulette video, where like the topic happened to come up in the live version, so I mentioned it in the voiceover for the video version. And I also have a whole video on the topic. I both have a what is actually a mentor's job. I also have a misconceptions about mentors video. I also have the PayPal Legends video, which is basically about the whole concept of this, as I said, players trying to make a correlation when there isn't one. It has a lot of math logic in it. That's fun. I wonder if I should just focus the boss here, since both the healer and the tank should be fine on the AoE. Oh yeah, and I also have that one. That's also true, Aerodel. That one, I think, was actually from before I personally got really into Mentor Roulette. Like, really into it. Hey Steve, hope you're doing well. And that's true. The main motivation you might have to kill the ads is that sometimes the damage from the ads can be a bit overwhelming. It kind of depends on the tank and the healer, whether you need to worry about that. But in this particular team composition, I mean, the Scholar has Art of War, which is a gain on 1. And, I mean, Gunbreaker isn't like one of those that really want to do a lot of AoE at this level. They don't have an AoE spender, so they might not like that. But like, if they're really optimizing, they could, you know, just build on AoE and then spend on burst strikes whenever they have. So it might benefit. Meanwhile, on my end, I can probably do better single target damage. Hey Sting Arrow, hope you're doing well. And yep, MSQ Roulette it is. It's actually pretty funny. I didn't actually get that many MSQ roulettes in the Mocktomb event times, which was where I had expected to see them like all over the place. But yeah, long story short, I have a lot of videos talking about what mentors are, because a lot of players don't know how, like, don't actually know what mentors are supposed to be doing. And that one goes both in the context of there are bad mentors because they don't do the thing that they're actually supposed to be doing, if you really think about it. There are also players that expect too much from mentors, which of course means that it's impossible for the mentors to meet the expectations, things like that. Like, there's a lot. Jose, Harry, hope you're doing well. Yeah, MSQ Roulette is quite something. I would still rather have something like Castrum over something like Under the Armor, at least in terms of entertainment value. But it's a little rough with Monk. At least for me, Harry, it hasn't been like that. And the past month or so, I would have assumed that it would have been like that, but it wasn't. Because of the Mock Tome event. It just wasn't, for whatever reason. But yeah, to get back to what you were asking, Truck, I don't know if or when we might stream the Neo Extreme. Because we're more focused on the content we're currently progressing. Sally says, I wouldn't be surprised if people just didn't do much Mock Tome farming this time around. It's possible, but if your reasoning for that is there wasn't anything interesting, then you have another thing coming. Because the reason there was nothing interesting is because you already had it all. Like, that's the funny thing when people are like, there isn't anything interesting, is like, a large part of the things you thought were interesting that last time are the regs, like the things that are always there, right? But you're right, it's possible there was just not anything anyone wanted. It's possible. But I didn't see the rewards be much different from what they usually are. So I don't know. I don't know. Get mounts? Yeah. There was a lot of things you didn't have. There was only 2 things you were interested in. Yeah, that also matters. But I'm just saying that as far as I know, there was approximately the same amount of, like, different stuff on the list as usual. So... wow, Zeldabar. Such value. Oh, wait. And yeah, exactly, Gleaming. By the way, I hope you're doing well. But exactly, it's like... I noticed a lot of people complaining that the list of rewards sucked or something. But, like, roughly speaking, it was, like, about the same as it always is. Which makes me think that it's more like a lot of players that didn't have those things yet, originally. Apparently the Black Mage is tanking one of them. A pro tip, guys. If the target count says that you should be single targeting as a tank, you still need to keep aggro on the other mobs. Like, if it's 2, provoke the other mob. If it's 3, I don't know, maybe you should just do a few AoE attacks to be sure. Hey Mijo, hope you're doing well. And exactly, Gleaming. And hey Ashley, hope you're doing well. Exactly, it is like, this is like a common thing almost with Final Fantasy XIV, if not, you know, gaming in general, is this thing sucks. No, you don't care about it or you don't like it. Doesn't this is like, I mean, it can be subjectively feeling that it sucks, but it's like, for instance, the I don't want it doesn't mean that it is objectively bad. But I think part of the problem is that some people will use words like objectively as an emphasizer when that's not what you use that for. It's like when people say that something literally is something, because it makes it sound more wild than if you just say that it is something. But if you say something is objective, that is more than just saying that it is very much something. It's like, it means that it's not something you feel. Like, that actually, if it's objectively something, then as far as I understand, it means that it's not your opinion. And Kiwi and Rift Walker, hope you're doing well. Objectively, AR has more content. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's true. But you're basically using objectively when what you actually need is very, you know, be careful. I sometimes have to do that when I'm trying to be fancy with my word choices in videos, is I'll look up the word that I used to be sure that it means what I think it means. And if I'm using something as like an enhancer or an emphasizer to like exaggerate something, then it's very important that it's basically a synonym for very. Otherwise, I might be giving it more detail than it actually has. Hey Zebras and Brontom, hope you're doing well. That's awesome, Rift Walker. You begin reading into Monk now? Awesome. Unfortunately, level 50 Monk, in my opinion, is a little bland. It's definitely not the worst job to be doing duties on. I would also say, in a funny way, if I was Viper right now, I would probably not be saying anything, and it would be nearly the same rotation. But it is that effect of somehow Monk feels a little more boring with just the 1, 2, 3s. Hey Shackman and Rirano, hope you're doing well. Yeah, this new option was added Tuesday, Shackman. If a boss has it enabled, then unless you've specifically turned it off, then this should appear for any bosses that have cast times. Yeah, exactly. Level 50 Monk is roughly identical to... Actually, it has more going on than level 50 Viper. Because you also have a deep meditation for a proc. Oh, I got 2 commendations. Hey, Seraph. Hope you're doing well. I don't know, Sally. For me, it's specifically the awkwardness of perfect balance is sitting there. It is funny when that happens by random chance. We get both of the striker melees back to back. I'll queue when it says 0-0. Oh, I know, silly. I don't think I get too caught up in that, because for me it's largely about mechanics of the job. But I do get what you mean. Any popular monster and Dinky? Hope you're doing well. That's awesome, popular monster. And yeah, indeed, I don't know what made me deserve 2 commendations. See, that's an interesting thing. If you got told who gave you gave you the commendations, then if I knew which 2 players did it, then I might be able to say a little more on it. Maybe the Black Mage noticed that I specifically switched target to help them when one of the Colossi at the end was attacking them instead of the tank. Maybe the healer saw that. Maybe it was something else. Maybe they were a 3-man pre-made and it didn't really matter. And 2 of them commended me and the 3rd one just didn't. Riftwalker says, I try to dissuade people from commending me because I really don't need them anymore. See, here's the thing. It's not about whether you need them or not. The whole commendation system is not about whether you need them or not. The whole purpose of it is to be able to tell someone else that, hey, you did good. Nice. That's what it's about. While they have, quote-unquote, function in that they unlock some things, that's what they're for, is that it's basically the game going, a lot of people like you. You know what? You deserve a little thing. Enjoy. And the thing is, someone who specifically doesn't want the commendations is almost more deserving of the commendation than someone who does want them. And yeah, I'm saying this. Oh, nice. That's a new feature. Nice. That's, you know what? I just noticed that. It's not really important. You can see it over here. Like, it's here, but that's nice. Like, this would be where you would be looking first, right? Yeah. I didn't even know that was an addition. Did they even mention that? It's that, like, that's like a really small thing, but hey, you know what? Now that I see it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Fantastic. Hey, Roulette. Hope you're doing well. Michio says, how many mental roulettes are you missing? Not that menu. A lot. Nice. And you know what? It does actually help. That is true, Aradil. If you are enjoying the stream, it does help me a lot if you like it. Like, tell the algorithm that this is awesome. We want more people in here. So that is very much appreciated. It's a little bit like commendations, but slightly more impactful. Truck says, the only thing I don't agree with comms is that it's tied to becoming a mentor. Yeah. I will say, commendations giving you any rewards at all, whether it's amount or access to mentor or anything, I feel like is a step in the wrong direction. I can see how adding a little reward somewhere at least makes it somewhat relevant. But yeah, I do agree. I also, like, I have said so myself before in videos related to mentor stuff that the requirements to becoming a mentor is stupid. Like, the reason why there are a lot of bad mentors and why there isn't a correlation between someone being a mentor and whether they are good or bad is that the requirements to become a mentor is not a test of skill. Not really. Arguably, having a lot of commendations indicates that you're probably pretty good. But it could also just indicate that you've been bad, but played for a really long time. So, like, that's a terrible way to gauge whether someone is good or bad. And... Oh. And... Okay, that is quite interesting. Why this week? Oh hey, Furnace here. Yeah, feel like I've been here before. Say Void Hunter. Hope you're doing well. Did you remember to bring Phoenix Downs? I have one. Hey, Crab Cake and Rillian. Hope you're doing well. Your princess is in another castrum. That's an oddly convenient time that the enemies stopped running. How have you had to use that many, Void Hunter? Echo, hope you're doing well. I'll say Bread Bean Queen, hope you're doing well. Oh, in the new dungeon. Yeah, I could see that. Any banger duties yet? Well, this is round 2 with Castrum. So, no? Hey, Mitchell. Hope you're doing well. How can you move and press all those buttons? I have 5 fingers. On each hand. No MMO mouse? Well, there's a thumb to use on the MMO mouse. Hey May and False Geek, hope you're doing well. How's the Samurai feeling at 50? It's more interesting than Monk. No, come back! You must die! Dinky, you use whatever settings work for you. I have 6 buttons dedicated to movement. Hey, Danny Potato. Hope you're doing well. There's a little bit of a funny exchange in the party chat in here. Our healer was using Cure 1, apparently, before the first boss and during the first boss. And they then had a little bit of a, whoops, why am I using Cure 1 moment? And they apparently did a leveling roulette where they didn't have anything else. So they probably got Stasha or something. But that was pretty funny. Should Cure 1 be traded to Cure 2 to stop that from happening? I have plenty of videos discussing this exact subject. The long story short of my opinion on that is to do that requires a little bit more than just that, because there are specific level 50 duties where Cure 1 is actually relevant. So no, what it requires is an overhaul of how healing leveling experience works. Just straight. The problem isn't Cure 1, the problem is how healers scale in the first place. Like, sure, that would solve that problem when you're specifically put in that situation, but I mean... Like, there are other jobs where it's like, you need to do one rotation when you're level 30 and a different one when you're level 50 and a different one when you're level 70. This wouldn't solve that problem. So if you think about it, like, you're trying to solve an unsolvable problem. But only for Cure 1. You know what I mean? Like, strangely, it's a problem for Cure 1, but it's not a problem for other jobs. Right? Michelle says, do you have some tips to get more commendations? One way some people find effective for getting more commendations is to play healer. Like, just start with that. Play healer. And of course, step 2, play healer well. The third tip on that is, in my experience, Astrologian gets more commendations than the other healers. Specifically because players will feel more compelled to give you the commendation when they realize you've been handing them cards. Even though you've been handing them everyone cards. Like, you've been going equal for everyone, but as long as each person notices that you also gave them attention, it's more likely that they'll give you a commendation. Mimikyu says, what's the niche level 50 usage for Cure 1? I believe some of the coils of Bahamut, either synced or minimum itemable no echo, is so tight on the amount of healing that you will run out of MP, because as it turns out, White Mage just straight up kind of sucks on the having the MP in that level range. Like, they have the MP, they also have the ability to heal a lot. Like, they have Cure 3, as Login does not have Cure 3. But that means that you can run out. And if you run out... I'm not actually sure if it's better to AoE. I'm pretty sure it's better on 2. I'm just gonna single target it. And yeah, also that's also a good tip, Mimikyu. While it sounds absolutely ridiculous, it sounds like memes. Having a cool portrait or a cute portrait, or generally having put effort into your portrait, has a tendency to work. Because if I have to pick, like if I'm like everyone in my party did well, then I might be like, well, that person did that thing particularly well, and then like prioritize copying them. But if I'm like, they're all pretty good, then like subconsciously I might just go, that's funny, and pick the one with the more interesting portrait. Like right at the last, I'll be like, well, it was all even, but he put on a funny portrait, you didn't do anything. So it does matter. Some players also just straight up comment based on portrait alone. Like they are 100% memes. And you will not get their commendation if you didn't put any effort into your portrait. Jose Sip, and Joe, and Ritsu. Hope you're doing well. And Rocky. But yeah, tank or healer tends to be a solid choice. The main reason why I tend to say healer is because if you're a healer, you can be Astrologian, and Astrologian has the cards. And genuinely, carding players, just giving them a damage card, if they see it, and no one else did anything particularly outstanding, you will probably get the commendation just because you gave them a card. They want to give you something in return. And the only thing they can give you is a commendation. Yeah, exactly. Commendation bribes. And that's a good question, Popular Monster. I wouldn't be able to say. Sometimes the reason you get a commendation, like get all the commendations, is straight up because it's a full pre-made and they can't commend anyone else. It could also be because you gave some advice, yes. Sometimes you can get a commendation simply because you said something funny and no one else said anything interesting. Hey Zenauto, hope you're doing well. Yeah, the new cast bars they're actually looking really good. It looks a little funny to me that the cast bar is way bigger than the HP bar. But I get it. I get it. Yeah, I think the fight will be over in a minute. I don't know if you're thinking about something other than me, Rocky. I'm talking about the cast bar under the boss. That one. Where do you see how many commendations you have anyways? Under reputation. That's fair, Rocky. I think we had the experience that the cast bar is not very helpful on a lot of bosses because their HP bar is too high up. So I could see it. I think it looks good on smaller enemies. I will queue when it says 10. I'll say Yama. Hope you're doing well. Harry says, I'm silent and no card and I still get comms as DPS. I mean, I did the monk duty just a bit ago. I didn't say anything. And I got 2 comms. Oh boy. I should have. I maybe should have held that hotshot so I could use it in the Gobu here. Well, guess we're reassembling a step 2 combo instead. Pew! Pew! Good way to get machinist out of the way. Rude. It's very sad. Now I don't get to play around with flamethrower. Hostile raves, exactly. That's a good one. I mean, that makes sense, Cole. It does have a little bit of the... that's boring for me. Maybe he'll get done with it quickly. I'll queue when it says 55. Which compilation video, Matthew? Well, at least, like, if we get Castrum twice and then a guild test and just continue that sequence, then we will get 10 duties. Wah, wah. Every guild test name from a Kai Mentorship video. Oh! I guess I could do that. I think I started on that meme in, like, episode... like 5 of Dawntrail? Doink. Imagine having an AoE attack. A waste of Reaper? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Reaper's really strong in this level range. How many are you at right now? This is duty number 4. Exactly, the Machinist episode, Harry. I believe that is when I started on it. No! You am stunned. Wait, how did I get aggro? Why do I have aggro? Ah! They forgot to use tank stance all along. We broke the castrum chain. I feel like we replaced it with something else. Black Mage! I'll queue when it says 55. Cole says, what if they remove Death's Design and have Reaper Death Grip itself, Death Grip instead? Thoughts? The way I read it, I initially thought that you meant that the Reaper Death Gripped itself. As in, it yoinked itself, in which case my thought was, well, if they do that, then they have to, like, grab you by, like, the collar and, like, just throw you at the target. Oh. Immediate replacement in... Ow. That's not very fair. Well, here we go. Ultimate Weapon Extreme. I just spawn in and get smacked. I have a... Hey, Dark Nile. Hope you're doing well. Look, more MSQ. There's too many people here. Ah. Hey, Nox. Hope you're doing well. That's a really awkward time. Huh. We have a death. I don't think our paladin knows what they need to do. Given the way our group handled the first Aetheric boon, I have a feeling that I will have to die for this at some point. So, can't promise you that perfect rotation, Cole. I may have to die for the greater good. Yeah, I think we're like 3 players that actually know what to do here. So I will almost certainly have to die. I only survived because of Mana Ward, and I will not have that this time. Nope. We have a lot of players that, It's more complicated than that, Phil. More complicated than that. I have a whole video on it. The classic is the tank that quickly pulled. Exactly, Lana. The tank that let the other tank die from, you know, not tank switching, pulled immediately. So there was no opportunity to discuss anything. Tank might not realize it is extreme. Considering that the tank is a returning player, they are probably among those that actually queued for it. That Dragoon asked what to do in the chat. And I explained it. We take those. It's very good. Oh, the tank's got that one. Oh boy. Well, this is winnable. 2 tanks can clear it. See, I just want to clarify, the Dragoon asked what it means to soak something. So they were like, does that mean the tanks do it? And I was like, no, that means you run into it with your face. And you need 2 players to do it if you're a DPS. And you saw what he did. Or she did, I don't know. You saw what they did. They got it. Oh, I don't actually have that. I should not have passed. Yeah, so the key thing, the main thing you can do at level 50 as Black Mage to optimize beyond... Come on, let's go gambling! Firestarter! Nope. Firestarter! Nope. Firestarter! Nope. The main thing you can do is transpose Swiftcast Blizzard 3. But it has to be done after an instant cast, and as it turns out, you have 2 instant casts. Thank you, Ardell. One of them being Thunder, but Thunder does so much damage that you do not want to delay that just for that instant Blizzard 3. That is a bigger damage loss than the gain of Swift casting Blizzard 3. The only other option you have is Firestarter, but you can't, like, sit on a Firestarter for it, because if you lose out on an extra Firestarter proc because you sat on the previous one, that's a way bigger damage loss than the gain from instant Blizzard 3 in Umbral Ice. The gain from Swift casting Blizzard 3 is like 87 potency. while losing a Firestarter, I would guesstimate, is like over 100 easily. And delaying Thunder is like, if you delay it by like 3 ticks, you've lost any value you could have gotten. 2 ticks even, and you've lost it. So the way you do it is using Flare as your last spell instead of Fire 1 is on average, like, it's above average result, you could say. Slightly. Whereas, or rather, if you finish with Fire 1, there's the 40% chance you get rewarded with a Firestarter and a 60% chance that you don't. If you don't, then it sucked, and you should have used Flare in hindsight. If you do, then it's great, and obviously you shouldn't use Flare. But this is further emphasized by if you got a Firestarter proc on your, like, second to last Fire 1, so you already have a Firestarter when you have 1 spell left, then you actually gain value. You guarantee that you can go Flare, Fire 3, Transpose, Swift Cast, Blizzard 3, which is a net gain, a significant gain over if you instead had gone Fire 3, Fire 1, and then you don't get a proc. And it should be a big enough gain that it makes the average result from that guarantee, like that safe move, better than risking the possibility of not getting a Firestarter proc. And all of this centers on every time you do this, you have to like glance over, is Swift Cast on cooldown? Because if it's not, then you can do it. If it is, then you just play Black Mage, quote unquote, normally. But yeah, level 50 Black Mage is complicated, yo. Hey, mister. Hope you're doing well. I will say, Gazel, that Minstrel's Ballad, like the old ones, don't really have Extreme in the name. APH, hope you're doing well. Did I miss Casey Cake coming in? Hope you're doing well as well. Viper time! I'm queuing when it says 55. Hello to Turnip! That's awesome, Crab Cake. And... oh. Error. Error. Yeah, that's a good point, Aradil. Today, for once, no supports yet. And yeah, that wow really stands out in that sound effect, doesn't it, Phil? Wow. I don't mind the first boss. It's a little rough, but I'm pretty good at it, I'd say. Are you ready? I basically set myself up there. I'm pretty good at it. In before the hattening has arrived. I mean, Void Hunter has the tally. It would be fantastic if it finally went down to 0, right? Oh, it's going to be a little rough. Double melee is usually not a good sign. You have basically no control over the children. Just like in real life. Oh, my damage buff ran out. Oops. Just kill the boss first, Lomao. And yet exactly, Naomi, that's what I thought to do. Ah, I can just be arranged. I didn't quite do it optimally. I should have put myself in the opposite opposing end to the astrologian, and that would have been a lot better. Someone got beheaded, but it was not me. Wait, that is the trick for anyone having trouble with that boss. Granted, there's only so much you can do. A lot of players have trouble with it because of latency, and I can't help you with that one. However, if you're having trouble with it because of, like, you don't get how to, like, manage the mechanic itself, bait it. It's almost fully predictable if you bait it. It looks like a hat. Oh, you're right. Well, if that qualifies, then I'm recently always beheaded. It's just sometimes the hat is bigger. Is there a manatee ratatouille under the hat? Maybe. I didn't see where the danger teapot was. Ah! Oh no, what's the answer for that one? I had a feeling the astrologian knew. To be fair on that, Mr. Bright, the attacks that Viper, the attacks that got nerfed on Viper were the ones that do incidental AoE damage, and in 1000 Mors of Totorak, I don't believe they have any of those. And Viper just at low level is actually ridiculously strong. I think I pointed out before that, like, in something like Under the Armor, Viper, after like 2 GCDs, every single action they do is like 308 potency, relatively speaking. Consider that by comparison, a Black Mage peaks at 252 in Under the Armor. Sure, they have a dot that is more than that, but they get one of those. Meanwhile, Viper's just sending us like a barrage of them. Hey, Yannick. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Shaq. Hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, I believe they have one of their Step 1 filler AoE combos in 1000 Mors. Makes it a little awkward, because they don't quite have everything. They hardly have anything. There's actually target counts in those levels where you want to alternate between AoE and single target, because your Step 1, if it's powered up by the honed thingies, then you want to use it. But if it's not, then the filler like the single target option is probably better. And also that, Bread Bean. I will say usually the dot will just barely run out, but basically you only get to cast one. Whether it ends before the dot ends or just as it ends, you only get one. It's still going to be your best attack in the whole fight. One thing I would wish, imagine if one day they made it so that there was like alternate animations for attacks that you could use. The only reason why I think that would be funny is because I specifically want an alternative, like a full reawaken combo where you see how like the Viper just teleports all over the place. I want it so that like randomly your character will do something completely weird with it. Like suddenly they'll just appear sitting on a chair drinking tea, or they'll stumble over their feet. And because they're just teleporting around, you'll see it for just a split second, just enough that you go like, wait, what? I want that so bad. That would be so funny. What do you mean, Bright, Mr. Bright? Are you suggesting that the Dark Knights stumble over their own feet for Bloodspiller? Or do you mean that they have all the different combo versions? Oh, I should not have done that. The sword spins in a weird way. Yeah, I get what you mean. It does look a little strange. Oh. Welcome back, Harry. We've had a little bit of a mix. We've actually gotten an extreme. Oh, it's a new bug. Okay, I haven't seen that. Oh man, Ninja sniped by Sage at the last. I think what happened was Agent Monica did it. Right at the last, Agent Monica was like, please roll a healer, Kai. and the wheel said, okay, fair enough. Right, I will queue when it says 0-0. Ah, that sucks, PH. That's the curse. You just can't leave when it's been that long. Bomp, bomp, bomp. It's kind of weird when it is a healer that gets it, isn't it? I don't even have an AoE button. I only have Flemma. Now I'm sad. Now I'm just sad. The funny thing with this is, in my experience, either you just go full blast and just kill them, and then you'll just deal with it when when they respawn, or you have to deliberately hold, because if a single one dies early, then you can actually catch yourself in like this endless loop where they like just well, not endless, but you know, an awkward loop where they just respawn in a conga line. Although, to be fair, this time we killed them so fast that this might actually be mildly awkward. Yeah, exactly, Ross. Which is why, like, unless I see everyone, like, carefully holding back, then I will just blast. Like, unless everyone is in on it, then there's no point. I have tried. And it takes just one person holding back. Just enough. Bird up! Bam, bam, bam! It's always a surprise when I land in a guild test as healer, like, what? Was I not needed anywhere else? Pictomancer! The two bursty mages. The unavoidable too. I will queue when it says 0-0. Zaf, I honestly have no idea what the priority system is, like, fully. There's, like, a lot of things that could make sense to be prioritized. And I have no idea how it works. But yeah, this is duty 8. Incoming duty 8, and we're, like, only closing in on an hour and a half. We're probably getting 10 duties. I'm saying probably, like, still a little apprehensive, because, hey, I mean, in before we get, like, an hour-long extreme that doesn't even succeed. What are you queuing for, by the way? So tell me what you're queuing for. Moggle. Oh, that sounds fun. Harry says, that's why my rule of random mental roulette jobs is that guild heads don't count. I could do that, but see, the thing is, at least on these live stream ones, it's like, I typically won't get to 21 duties. So, like, it's not like I'll run out of jobs. It's just sometimes a specific job is unfortunate. But I have looked at, like, there is also the part that usually if I get a lot of guild tests, I'll end up having more time to do other duties, or do duties, so I'll just do more. So it kind of solves itself because I go for a specific amount of time. Scoliosis dragon. It gamer-leaned too much, guys. It gamer-leaned too much. Look, this is what happens if you gamer-lean too hard. Remember to conserve your power for when it really matters. Permanently locked in. That's also a way to look at it, Ritsu. The dragon gamer leaned so hard that it can no longer stop gamer leaning. Good luck. With good King Mugglemarg, good King Mog. As the wheel spins. What do you mean, Mr. Bright? The Yan mount is from treasure maps. They put a hyper-realistic cat mount in the store instead. What I mean, it's still diabolical. Uh-oh. We're going somewhere. And that somewhere is... Oh. Cruise chaser? Bonk. A bonk and bonk. And bonk and bonk. Oh, right. That's a... circle AoE. Pictomans on this level range is weird. You don't have your own burst button. Like, not really. So you just have a 1-minute burst. And your burst is hammer. Wait, is that a gain? It is a gain on 3. It's not a gain on 2, though. Splat. I could have swift casted a motif before I did all that. Oh! Kill the ad! Death! Take this! Uh-oh. Wait, no! Why am I a tank now? The cleave value, though. Oh, that counted. That was okay. I could leave that late. Fantastic. Just paint some armor. Uh-oh. Ow. Could have painted a motif in that time. Oh. Okay. It's one of those days. It's just one of those days. Doink. 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 I sure hope there isn't someone out just bashing away at the invulnerable boss right now. That would be weird. Should know better. It's the fact that I have seen that stuff happen before, Sting Arrow, that is causing me to go, I sure hope that isn't what's going on here. I sure hope people will run to the correct side of the boss before they just let it rip. Like it was Beyblade. Can't tell if I am or the Astrologian is off. I mean, I haven't particularly focused on being on time, and I've been using hammers close on cooldown as I can. So there's not much else I can do. Apparently I painted a hammer for nothing. Worth it. Did he die mid, like, flying up? Like, flies up and then just... Fantastic. mean, that level range is pretty interesting with Pixelmentor. Like, you have a rotation. And it's definitely not the same as your max level rotation. The limit cut that's called limit cut, but isn't a limit cut. Not only that, he used limit cut twice, and they had different functionality each time. Exting era, I recently found myself... I will queue at 45. I recently found myself in a Ramuh hard where like half the raid was just bashing away at invulnerable Ramuh during the ad phase. I was just sitting there like... And by the way, if you are enjoying the stream, it does help me a lot if you leave a like on it here on YouTube. That tells the algorithm this is an enjoyable stream, but like other people to enjoy it as well. So thanks so much in advance. Void Hunter says, I have at least 3 people like that every Ramuh normal run. Ugh. The only thing I can think when that happens is, well, thankfully it wasn't extreme. And what makes it even more cursed is that Ramuh hard, he summons the adds, but doesn't immediately become invulnerable. So you might just bash away and then he becomes invulnerable. Because it, like, there's like a cutoff point where it's like, nope, stop. I think Ifrit does the same. Itchy says, I feel like I've had that happen in Ramuh Extreme too. I would imagine that would be the case. Like, I've had some interesting Ramuh Extreme runs. Absolutely. Ilana says, maybe we deal 0 damage on him because he has a very big shield if we smash hard enough. I'm pretty sure it says tink invulnerable in that specific case. But there are other cases where the boss just takes 0. So it feels like maybe it'll work. That moment when you haven't used a job very much for a long time, so you haven't actually checked the gear upgrades you've gotten since. Hey, Billsy. Hope you're doing well. Bob says, what are you supposed to do with the last boss in Hullbreaker Isle? Are you just supposed to kill the tentacles, or is there something else to the boss? No, you're literally just supposed to kill the tentacles. It actually, like, over on the right in the duty information, it'll actually tell you how many you have killed and how many you still need to kill. Like, that is actually the objective. You just kill the tentacles, and at some point, you're done. What is Mentor count so far? Mentor count so far? I think this is duty number 9. Is a new alliance in Mentor? Yes. Yes, it is. Yep. A2. Oh boy. Say Kit Kat. Hope you're doing well. Oh, whoops. That should have been a scatter. When is the solo of the new dungeon? I don't know. Usually it takes a few months before I get around to it. Maybe I'll do it earlier this time. Can't you skip this? Yes and no. The snipers will just shoot at whoever happens to have aggro from up there, and they will sometimes come down anyways. And like, while it is skippable, let me put it like this, Cole. I have seen a lot of tanks just die from healers thinking, well, I can't see any enemies, and then like the tank just dies from a severe case of no heals. So if I was the tank, I would also not jump down. Like, I'm just saying, I've seen people be idiots about it too many times to risk it. So technically can't skip them. I believe the terminal doesn't work until you've killed them or something as well. Not 100% sure on that one, but point is, yes, you can skip them. You might not want to. Do you not want to get in the robot car? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Exactly, Yannick. We skipped the ads, but at what cost? And I just want to clarify that the snipers just shooting down at whoever has aggro, it's not like the snipers just insta-kill you or something. It takes them a few shots to kill, like, a tank. Even a couple shots to kill a DPS. The problem is, genuinely, and I'm not joking, that the tank will just, like, or the DPS will just stand there and just get whittled down, and no one does anything. Because as far as they're concerned, well, I don't see any enemies. And then they don't look at the party list. It is genuinely the dumbest way to die in this dungeon. How do you pronounce Koreko? Like that. Koreko. Yeah, that's fair, Cole. I could imagine that it helps a little bit with the weirdness of this fight by basically acting like the duty is like a completely different job. Dumb ways to die. Blam! Now, says, I've always wondered what the Savage for this is like. I am assuming that the robo-car is a lot more important, at least. Truck says, unless you're really bad at Red Mage, then it's Corpse. Ah, Corpse. That's what it is when you accidentally dash into a hole. That's when it turns into corpse. Ah, corpse. Like if you accidentally press it during your Way Wilds of Field Station's final boss, and just... then it's corpse, corpse. Yeah. Yeah, true. Adults, that does mean body to body. Corpse! Ah! I imagine you would, Mew? Bard. Am I correct in remembering that we've only gotten one support so far? I will queue when it says 25. Sam says it's mostly the same, but the car thing has more use with vuln stacks on enemies, and it needs to charge itself by absorbing the enemy car. Oh, cool. Hey, me, who else? Hope you're doing well. In before it's a level 100 duty again. I don't mind Bard. It's just that, like, of all the jobs to get the high level duties with, it's like a high level dungeon is really rough for me with Bard and Ninja. So I'd rather have, like, I don't know, a trial or a normal raid or a low level duty with them. Like, to be perfectly honest, I'll take whatever. But if I got like the list of duties that I'm going to get in a set, and then I was able to like just choose which job goes where, then I would probably put Bard and jobs like jobs that I have trouble with in duties where I have less of the toolkit. After saying this, get ready for the... Yeah, exactly. This is probably going to be the new dungeon. Which I have done a grand total of once. I've done Expert Roulette 2 times this week, and it's just Underkeep. You cleared! Nice, Nox. Nope. Well. I have a feeling that what happened there was I was going to get something crazy, but then someone said no. 5 pulls is pretty good for King Moggle. I should not have used Raging Strikes on that. That was really stupid. I only get 1 Raging Strike for this fight. Speaking of not having a toolkit. Also, speaking of not having clothes. I just remembered. Let me just see. I think there isn't much else because I don't really want to put the super spell speed stuff on my non-spell speed wanting mages. I just want to be sure that I finished updating the gear. Yep. It'll be a lot easier once I actually have the slow mage set completed. Hey Liv, hope you're doing well. Warrior! The supports are making a comeback. Wow! I'll queue when it says 40. Also, he's Milan. Hope you're doing well. Like how Warrior's green because he's basically a healer. Well, to be fair, the colors are just random in that whole thing. I think I can customize them. It's just that it assigns the colors as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever you choose. So the moment you remove a job from the list, all of the other jobs will have the wrong color. So I just can't be bothered. Copperbell Mines! Copperbell Mines. Copperbell Mines. Copperbell Mines. Woohoo! Copperbell Mines! Let's go! Gigapole? Man, I wish. The door's closed. Hey, Lollipop Pizza. Hope you're doing well. The Warrior of Light yearns for the mines. Are you sure you want to use it? Are you sure you want to actually progress this dungeon? Yes, actually. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I actually do want to progress. Hey, man. Doink. I have the feeling my party didn't realize that was what we were doing. What's in that room? I think there's a treasure chest. I'm pretty sure there isn't, though. But I think there's a treasure chest. I checked it recently. I'm pretty sure I found nothing. But usually, treasure chest is the most likely thing. Anyway, this is a problem. I don't have a healer. My healer is far behind. Hey, man. Doink. I'm coming back! I'm coming back! Ah! I am saying, silly, for an upcoming video, I have actually gone and checked the side rooms in many a Realm Reborn dungeons. And I think like 2 or 3 of the optional rooms in Hawk Manor just straight up has nothing in them. But when I say optional rooms, I am both including the ones that require a key and those that don't require a key. It's like there are just some rooms that are just like, you just go in and look and there's just like nothing. Just straight nothing. Hey, Liam. Hope you're doing well. Rest in peace, Dothraki tunnels that lead to nowhere. Yeah. Hey Jamie, hope you're doing well. There's vestiges of old versions, perhaps? I don't think so, because while they've changed some fights in Hawk Manor, they haven't changed the actual dungeon layout. One of the Sastasha optional rooms has some dialogue. There are NPCs that say stuff if you walk up to them, yes. Anyone done Cutter's Cry since the patch? I have not, but I know others have. You're not the captain. 'Tis me, Captain Small Dragon. Oh, look, a treasure chest. Liam says, I don't think some of those optional rooms are even required for mapping achievements. That's correct. I'm pretty sure most of them don't. However, there is at least one optional, like, actually there's more than one optional side room in Sunken Temple of Khan that is required for the mapping achievement. And what I mean by that is, you know the bonus room from doing the scales correctly? That's not the only room you need. I'm speaking from experience. Ah, never mind. Apparently I've gotten more achievements since. It was in my last fight, like the other day. I brought both bombs back to the barrels. The bombs reset if you run too far away, Flaming Knight. So you can't quite do that. What? They will. I have tried before. The problem is more that I'm pretty sure that you might de-aggro them in your attempt to drag them to each other. Maybe I'll try it next time, Flaming Knight. And I'm saying it because I have tried doing it many times, Flaming Knight, and it doesn't work for me. So it's not like I haven't thought about it. I have genuinely tried it many times. Maybe you found the exact way to get it done, and I just don't know it. But that's the reason why I don't. Because they usually reset for me. Boom. I think I missed one. Is there a mob here? I don't think so. Oh, there are people watching cutscene. Never mind. They're coming now. Spin. Maximum uptime! Ta-da! And as I repeat Flaming Knight, it might have something to do with technique. When you see like 3 or 4 other people also say no, they reset, then it might be that you know how to do it. And if I go and test it, it won't work. In fact, let me see if is there a way that I can easily test this. That might be a problem. Okay, that works. Can't really test it if the attack I brought specifically to test it kills them. Yannick says sleep one midway. Well, the suggestion other players gave was, as it seems like the general observation is that the mobs will reset as the tank like runs across to grab the other pack. The main way that people would make it work is by having someone else grab the other pack. You don't even need to sleep the other pack. You just need someone other than the tank to pull the other pack to make it easy. But according to Flaming Knight, it's possible without any of that. You just pull them. So we're going to try that. And what may happen is that it just doesn't work. Or it might be that Flaming Knight will see me try it and then be like, no, 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 you're supposed to do it like that. And if you say that, Flaming Knight, if I fail it and you go, no, but you're doing it all wrong, then I am proven correct because I said it had something to do with technique. So, you know, at that point you'll have to choose between being honest and you know, being right, I suppose. Fair enough. Yeah, it works. We learned something new today. Thank you, Flaming Knight. Fantastic. You win this time. So thank you. What works? The barrel to the right is more consistent. What? Like over here? Because you can't cross a certain threshold. We can figure that out pretty easily. That's assuming the other mobs also reset. That's the threshold there. And that's the threshold there. So the problem is that if you need to go like significantly down the hallway, then you'll have problems. Yeah, now we know. Fantastic. Thank you. Now back to what we were doing. And that's true, Cass. It's probably a lot easier if you have two players just working together. But if you're not a pre-made, you can't assume that that'll actually be the case. I mean, Lollipop Pizza, you're not skipping anything. It's just packs. And the whole dungeon is janky with mobs resetting. So it's probably not that something that is really high on the list. I'll queue when it says 30. But yeah, that is true. Flaming Knight is correct. It is definitely possible alone. Oh, that was fast. Are you ready for a guild test, probably? I don't think so, Truck Driving Gamer. Because I'm pretty sure the duty supports will just teleport with you, or would teleport with you when you go. Other duties with teleports, they don't actually use the teleporter, they just go and appear where you are. So it wouldn't matter. It's almost certainly that they just went, oh yeah, that is an oversight, isn't it? Like, be honest with me, the fact that you can skip that, or that you could skip that all this time, feels like an oversight. Honestly, it does. They'll stop. Yes, they will stop and fight, Truck. But the moment you run through the gate, they'll just poof to where you are. So you can just have them tank it for you. And also, yeah, guild test. But genuinely, it's something that has been in, like, it's a cute thing that has been in the game for so long, but it always looks like an oversight. Or at least did to me. It looks like a mistake. That you can do that, when all other dungeons don't let you do that. So I can't picture it being a case where you where they had to change it because the duty supports can't handle it. Now, the last boss, on the other hand, got changes, as I understand. That is possibly because of duty support. I've been told that duty support does not handle what's the word? Persistent circle AoEs. And the final boss puts down the ice swirlies that just stay. And And I believe that has been removed. You'll also notice that that has also been removed from Stone Vigil and Braveflock's Longstop. So that one is... They seem to handle it fine in Holminster Switch. Weird. Yeah, that is weird. My guess is maybe they've just, like... I'm guessing that maybe they handle it by just being sent to specific spots. Like, they just avoid it by just not hanging out in the area where they realistically would be. It might also be incorrect, and the reason why they get rid of the persistent AoEs is because they don't want them to be there. Is there any dungeon where you have to run from an AoE that chases you? Sure. Not in the exact way that Chimera does it. I will say, Truck, in like 99% of situations where you are in duty support, they will come with you in a situation where it's like, they're like not in combat, because all other duties where there is a teleporter like that, you would not be in combat when you're about to use the teleporter. So naturally, they're not hung up on doing something else. So you might not even realize that they're poofing with you. You would just be going, well, they're probably using the teleporter after me. I'll say, Perrin, hope you're doing well. I believe it did, Sally. But that is a good point. The suggestion that duty support can't handle persistent AoEs is something that I've been told, and the closest we get to it is that there are a surprising amount of duties where they got duty support, and now that it's gone. We don't have evidence that they can't, but the closest we have to evidence that they can't, LQ when it says 15, is the fact that Squadron has like a giga AoE resistance so that they can just get away with it. Like, they can just stand in it and it's fine. And they don't try to dodge. Like, that's usually a sign that they don't know how to. Oh. Okay. And some of the cases, they also try to like vaguely hide it, that the NPCs couldn't deal, that the squadrons couldn't deal with it. The way they did that is that before they reworked Braveflocks, before they reworked Braveflock's Longstop, on the final boss, if you did it as in a squadron, the dragon would never fire its persistent AoE on anyone but the player. Which is a very cheeky way to make sure that it never becomes a problem, that the NPCs will, that these squadron units will not move. It's a very funny way to solve it, isn't it? You'll just inspect the ninja. I'm not going to, because like I don't think there is a problem, but doing so like shows their full name, and then what's the point in this, right? Hey Bits, hope you're doing well. It looks like it's just the Skaven gear. The dance, on the other hand... Mizunashi. Hope you're doing well. It appears it is the dancer that has it, yes. But I will also say on the Cutter's Cry thing that the way they fixed it is at least a little more interesting than if they had just, you know, just squooshed the whole Oasis thing and just put, you know, like 2 packs in a line and said kill them to get to the portal. Because I believe what they did is they made it so that when you enter the Oasis, you have a certain amount of things you need to kill for the gate to open, but there are more enemies there than the ones you need to kill, which is actually not something that is in other duties. It's like they didn't just completely neuter it. You can still skip something if you want to. This has gone on long enough. I wonder if he'll fight us for 30 more seconds so that my cards aren't weird. Womp womp. Now my cards are weird.
Why does my enemy still stand?
Why does my enemy still stand?
Truly be so great.
Can her strength?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
Mr. Bright says, Stone Vigil has those AoEs under your feet, and the healer NPC will just die 50% of the time from walking into someone else's AoE. Oh. However, I find that at least one human per run does the same. Really? That's a weirdly high percentage. I don't feel like that.
Beyond mortal limits.
Bits, I believe the chakrams fluctuate in color.
And so it shall. For the ultimate weapon.
Is it the Titania weapons? I think it's the crafted Titania weapons. They flip between 2 colors, I believe.
The heart of Sabik. It is the weapon.
Speak brainly, Asian.
Whose surface even the vaunted scholars of ancient Alec failed to scratch. The magic within has lain dormant for eons.
Of what magic do you speak?
The colors change and sheath unsheath.
Without parallel. Ultima.
Ultima. The way he says it, it almost sounds like there's an O in it.
Force of the primals,
Ultima.
For no other reason but to quicken the core. For the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
La Brea, what have you done?
La Brea! What did you do I missed?
For my god to be reborn.
Oh man, I missed.
Damn you, Asian.
is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power.
You know, it'd probably be more effective if you aimed the ultimate at us instead of pointing up. You forgot to melt axe. I feel like he might have actually forgot to melt skill speed. Unleash Ultima! Double kill. Jamie says, if the purpose of the ultimate weapon was to fight primals, do you think the Asians figured out something akin to warding scales to protect the pilot? I'm guessing the machine itself is closed in enough that it's fine.
Has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belsar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
Trox, after 100 times doing this, I wish he was less vague about his intentions. I'm still not sure. Yeah,
But first,
I think it's something about devastation.
the question of who is mightier remains. Come, adventurer. Let us find the answer together.
Oh, same, Mr. Bright. Absolutely. Like, I've said the same. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's a surprisingly high percentage of players that get hit by something like that. But I have the same. The classic of amazingly many players that get that play strangely badly in specific ways. And when I say surprisingly many, it's like when you're making mistake, like when a player's making a mistake you thought no one could possibly make, then 1 is a too high number. Gaze upon true power. Ow. Oh, fantastic. Ah, yeah, the classic, the sprout that doesn't know what a stack marker is. Heyo! Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the music is great. Isn't this the first stag in MSQ at this point? I think so? Is it? Nero has one? Oh, yeah. I mean, still would be the second, then. Uh-oh. Guys has one too. Well, there you go. It is still impressive how they're just like no stack markers, and then for the MSQ roulette, bam, bam, bam. And more importantly, remember that these fights have been reworked. So I do wonder when the first stack marker was before that. Nidhogg. Yeah, that would explain why that's the classic one where players would die to running away with a stack marker. Crystal Tower? Yeah, I suppose so, but then again, like if we're going to go with run with the same logic, which still also go well originally, that one wasn't required. So it wasn't until Shadowbringers that one would have been the first one. And then eventually they reworked the MSQs, and then it was those. But yeah, true. Crystal Tower has it. Hmm? But Crystal Tower makes sprouts. Yeah, also true. Crystal Tower is its own can of worms. To your question, Catfish Jr., I would say Scholar is a pretty solid choice for roulettes. Like it has enough of a toolkit that at most levels that you can get fancy with it. Whether it's your team is bad, so you really need to pay attention, or your team is good, so you can meme around with energy drains. It has a pretty good balance there. And Summoner. Denied. Let me just fix the gear on this one. Like I did for Red Mage. Just the quick fix. So that we have most of the fancy gear we have. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right. I will queue when it says 8. Now. Anyone notice any changes to the way their characters look after the patch? I can't tell the difference at all, thanks to the free Fantasia, I guess. I'm not sure myself. Lollipop Pizza says, I do like how we can stack all three stack all three stack markers of Zande, because as far as I know, you cannot do that anywhere else. See, the funny thing is, the reason you can is the reason why you can't in most other cases. Notably, there is a pair stack, or like rather, there is 2 stack markers, one on each healer, on E12N. Oh! And that one also can be, they can be overlapped. A lot of people just don't, because now, like, most people have been, you know, trained to not take any chances with it, right? But the reason all the other ones can't is specifically because of it giving magic vault. So like, it's just an oversight essentially. Did I just miss a cast there? Oh. I don't have any actual spell speed on my gear. That'll be enough. Freelance says they could just add it to Zande. They could. Technically, they could now, yes. But I have a feeling that they might rather just not want to. Like, basically, if a duty reaches, like, a point where the player base basically views it as free, then if they change it to no longer being free, it's going to cause a lot of disagreements. And it might just, like, it might just cause chaos. I would say it would be hilarious if they just changed it, just out of nowhere. I'm just saying, I would think it's funny if they did. But I can definitely see why they might not want to. Hey, Caster! Hope you're doing well. We got added by accident. I can't imagine how it would happen by accident. But yeah, that would also be a funny way for it to happen. The mark was different before? That's true. But the mechanic wasn't different before. But yeah, it used to look a lot more ominous. I believe one of that there is a stack marker that still looks like that in one of the, like, somewhere, I think it's in Void Ark. It has this, like, really ominous black looking stack marker. It doesn't really mean anything, it's just, it looks really ominous, that's all. I could imagine that, Ilana. If they were to change it at all, they might just make it into 3 tower stacks. I could see that happen. Like, I mean, now that it has been safe to overlap those 3 stacks for so many years, I can't imagine that the developers would at any time even entertain the idea of just changing that bit. Like, they would probably make the mechanic change substantially, so that it's like, it's obvious that something changed. It's not a phase, Mom. Ugh, it's not a phase. Ugh. It's not a phase, it's a boss mechanic. It's a singular boss mechanic, it's not a phase. I just realized that Fern is in the party again. Dark Knight is still bugged? Well, I will say it's a visual bug, right, Mr. Bright? I'm assuming it's just a visual bug and it looks weird. Considering that there are other game-breaking bugs, it does not surprise me in the slightest that they haven't given that a single thought. They might not even know that it's a problem. But in that case, maybe we should check it out after this duty. On the fly myth busting? Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said the same thing that like Flaming Knight mentioned the thing about Culpable Minds, and I immediately like packed my bags, got ready to go in as Blue Mage to see if see what the fuss is about. I just forgot to use Lux Solaris. Whoops. I mean, we didn't need any healing in that whole period of time, so big oofs there. But hey, still, I could have used it. Healed like a fraction of someone's HP. It's not zero. The nice boss can be afflicted with the debuff from arm's length still. Good. There's no need to remove that interaction. But that is interesting. Of course, Mr. Bright. I'm also saying it is pretty funny. And I do recognize that you were not like, oh man, they haven't fixed it yet. Like, that was not how you presented it. But it is funny with these kind of things. But I can understand why they probably haven't thought that much about that specific detail. How are you ever supposed to see what's happening on this job? That is a fantastic question, Cole. When I raided briefly on Summoner in in Endwalker when I procced a bit of P5S in Party Finder. I ultimately turned off my own effects because I couldn't see anything. By the way, little trick here. You see it? Who needs moving, right? Oops, I should not have used that. Ah, whatever, let's use those then. It's big brain time! Oh no! I learned that this weird trick from a comment. And someone mentioned, by the way, did you know you can do that? I was like, what? And the thing is, I never needed it because, what jobs can do that without losing basically all of their damage? It's like Black Mage, Pictomancer, and Summoner maybe. Like, Summoner is a maybe, because, like, maybe you're using Ifrit at that time. Do what now? You can stand... did you see what happened, like, 20 seconds ago? Any of the physical ranged? Well, Dancer can't, because they need to be close with their filler AoE. Machinist can't because they need to be close with their filler AoE, and Bard can't because they need to be close with their filler AoE. They might be able to do a few GCDs while staying out there, but they will have to eventually come over. Because their cones are only 12 yarbs. And basically, Zav, you can reach the big avatar thing in the final, like, AoE pull of Tender Valley. From so far away that you're not getting hit by the side room AoE things. I do it every time I'm in here as a job that can do it. There's actually another one, because there's also a meme trick you can do in Stray Burrow Deadwalk. But that one is even more whatever and requires the entire party to work together. Can the boss bring the mobs outside of the traps? The big mini boss thing that looks like the boss from Gitana Ravel will not follow you. He does not move, so you cannot bring all the packs out. There's no way to, like, you cannot get that cheesy with it. Oh, nice. The Stray Burrow Deadwalk shenanigans you can do is that the dolls that do like the they do make their hands clap on the floor. They do the kaboomy thing. That has a oh yeah, true. Astrologian could probably do it. Those dolls, like their spammed AoEs have a maximum height to their attack. And there's a staircase if you go back. So if you pull the dolls back to the staircase and tank them at the foot of the staircase, then a Black Mage or a Pictomancer or a Summoner or an Astrologian could stand at the top of the stairs and shoot down. And they will not take damage from the AoEs. However, what's really funny is that you might think, but they channel those AoEs, so wouldn't they just stand down there and circle AoE and AoE? You can run away from them, they will continue to AoE. Like, the tank can run away from them. But they actually recognize when their primary target is out of range. If the tank walks up the stairs so that the tank is not getting hit, then the dolls will stop, walk up the stairs, and then continue. Like, they'll specifically pause, walk up, and then continue. Gold says, God forbid healers have to hit a button. I will say, right at launch, Stray or Deadwalk, those dolls did enough damage that healers sometimes had to actually, like, their brain cells had to actually connect a bit. So there was something to it, but it was just too much effort, and too few jobs could actually use it. Which is why it's like, both the thing I showed just now and the thing in Stray or Deadwalk, both of them are like, they're funny, that they exist, but you're not gonna do that most of the time. It will not kill you to not do that. Dancer. Okay, so real quick, Ninja is the only melee, the only DPS left over. I will queue when it says 0. Alright, this is the time that you give me something really stupid like enemy strongholds or something. Dancer is absolutely busted in most guild tests where they are high enough level to have standard step. It's absolutely insane. Especially if there's anything AoE. Like Annoy the Void? Oh no, that ads! There are ads incoming! Woe is me! You're just boom! And everything is nearly dead or dead. Specifically, enemy strongholds is particularly insane. There's this pack of Spriggans about halfway through. You can two-shot them with standard finish into Windmill. You don't need anyone else. It's just dead. Meanwhile, if you don't have a Dancer, they take like 10 to 15 seconds to kill. That's maybe an exaggeration. Maybe 10 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. And also helps that, like, the fights are so short. Well, not quite where Dancer really shows off, but, I mean... Also, Fern is here again. Day skill test day. I would actually say this is more like MSQ day. We've had 3 of those. Which is quite a lot, I feel like. At least for my standards. Agent Monica says, what is your secret, Fern? I think Fern just queues Mentor Roulette at the same time as me. Like, Fern doesn't queue some random stuff, like some specific stuff. Fern just queues Mentor Roulette at the same time as me. That's also how Taldemar often lands in a duty with me. It's just queue Mentor Roulette. I think the boss is going to die before I can finish the standard step. Yep. Yeah, Aerodil did the same thing too. That's correct. Scholar. With this pace, knock on wood, I guess, we might be able to do all of the jobs. I will queue when it says 7. And the reason I'm saying knock on wood is because I say that and then we land in a really long duty. I see, Ilana. And yeah, I imagine that's how a lot of people, like, run into me. Is that you just happen to be doing something. Oh, Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel. Babel. If you ever needed a sign that the last time I played Scholar was in like a level 50 duty, Broil and Art of War had swapped positions. Weird that. Enjoy, Shaq. Hey, Killer Rod. Hope you're doing well. And that's a donut. Congratulations, Killer Rod. I believe it's the alarm. You know, I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out. For me, it's like ads. Can't hear them. Oh yeah, true, Nox. Excuse me. What is it? Why do you have the cure to the curse that you put upon the enemies in the boss room? Why do you have a solution to the problem in the same room as you apply the problem? My genius is too grand to be understood. Don't question me! Kansas, I love that he introduces his mechanics by slamming a nerd. Doink. But what if you just made them not able to turn into frogs and made them immune to the poisonous water? Now that's stupid. And that's absolutely absurd. Why would you do that? What's the point? Mr. Right says, I saw that short right before I did this dungeon blind. I imagine the short was very enlightening for your run of the duty. It's also pretty funny, the mini effect that you need to dodge the shark crumbs getting tossed at you. I haven't done I haven't looked that closely, but my estimate is that they reduce the damage you do by like less than 10%. It's so little. So if you're like a caster, there's not really any reason to bother to worry about it. 8,000 JF, hope you're doing well. I don't know, not let them minimize themselves to dodge the giant blades? Or how about this, maybe just make the giant blades shoot closer to the floor? I believe there is this weird thing about the Warrior of Light being incapable of jumping over attacks. Our ankles are too heavy. Exactly, Leah. Like this doesn't even count. Not really. In 1.0, the Warrior of Light couldn't even jump at all. True. We actually have the ankles of heavy. Heavy. Hey! Speaking of Lala. No, they have to be defeated by their own incompetence. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Incompetence all around me. Is that the Warrior of Light? Nah, I'm the Marauder of Heavy. Schmole. Yeah, it's like 10%. As far as I can see, it's like 10%. Maybe even less than that. It's small guy. Even smaller Kai. I'm forgetting to use lucid dreaming. I'm slipping over here. Just stack piety. You know, the funny thing there, Leah, is that technically, on a practical level, AoEs are actually boxes and cylinders and such. It's just that they're usually just like an arbitrary height where it usually doesn't matter. Like, as I said before, the dolls in Ghost Park, the slamming on the floor they do, has a maximum height. And that maximum height happens to be shorter than if you run all the way up the stairs. And they know that, as in the dolls will chase you up there if everyone runs out of range. They'll stop slamming and run up there. I think I did actually in a Mythbuster video demonstrate approximately how tall mechanics are, but I believe I was told by some comments on that video that it may be the case, big shocker, that the height of attacks can vary, which is actually weirder. And that's truly, if it was intentionally designed in such a way that you were meant to be able to jump over things, they would probably need to have an indicator that made it clear when you could and when you couldn't. I think they could make it look nice, but I understand why they wouldn't. Like, with the kind of latency jank there's already in the game, can you imagine how absurd it would be if there was a mechanic where you specifically were meant to jump over it? Huh. Imperator. It is weird that this fight ended up being a dungeon. Just a final boss in a dungeon. But you know what? Considering the recent... I think it's a recent... explanation that originally this whole Guardian story arc was meant to be a whole expansion of itself. This could have been like the third trial, right? mean, so that's entirely like a coding problem. If they wanted it to, they might be able to, but they don't. Probably. And it would probably be a bit of a nightmare to implement now, so far down the road, right? Oh yeah, limit break. That's something we have. Let's see, one more. One more. Paladin. We're down to 1 healer, 1 DPS, and 2 tanks. I'll queue when it says 15. And yeah, as Leah says, Ritsu, it's like late Endwalker-ish tech that you don't actually move to your to the target's location when you jump. Yeah, cursed. Hey, Kiwi Crusher, thank you so much for the support and welcome to the Call of the Pink. Hope you enjoy the emotes. Thank you. I did see you were there earlier, by the way. It was just, I think you were quiet for a while. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, third Castrum Meridianum. I don't know why Castrum Meridianum is suddenly so popular today. Three Castrum. Thank you for celebrating 11 months as part of the Call of the Pink, Talima. Thank you so much. Report back from the treasure dungeons. No Yans. No Yans. Thoughts on the new Alliance raid? I think it's cool. And it seems to be pretty challenging. Which is good, because it means that it'll be interesting for longer. Oh right, there was the Dark Knight bug. No worries, Kiwi. I feel like it's good that it shows up in the chat. I appreciate it. I want to be able to say thanks. What's the bug? Apparently, Bloodspiller's animation is turbo jank now. Like something went wrong. I also just realized that Naomi is here as well. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that bunny. I'm pretty sure. Apparently the red mage also wasn't a duty before. And I'll say right now that not having the names visible means that... like, I actually have the names visible in the chat. But if you don't say anything in a whole duty, then next time you show up, I'll have no idea it's you. Don't! Spin! Jump into a lantern, apparently. You thought that was the sound of me blocking an attack? No, that was the sound of my head donking on the lantern as I tried to look smart and cool. Jumping on lanterns is usually a Kugane tradition. Yeah, but I bring it with me. I am Lizard after all. Exactly, Agent Monica. So basically, if you run into me while I'm doing Mentor Roulette, I might be able to recognize the character model. Like if you use the same outfit everywhere, then there's a possibility that I recognize you if I've seen you a lot. But otherwise, you have to say something in the chat. Otherwise, I have no idea. Favorite dungeon to use Shield Bash? Sometimes it's handy in deep dungeons. Hey, everyone, follow me! Yeah, exactly, Agent Monica. That is also usually how I've noticed you. But it is a case of sometimes someone will, like, see me again, like, later in a set, and they'll be like, oh, hey, again. And like, they didn't say anything in the other duties, so I'm like, oh, hey, again. Who's that person? But it is curious, so many that are doing MSQ Roulette now. People need tomes? Yeah, but that many poetics? For what? Heliometry? Via Miscue. Yeah, I get that. I'm like 90% certain that Expert Roulette is a faster way to accumulate those. And what I mean by that is spamming Expert Roulette duties. Just choose the highest level duties. They will give more. Like with or without the roulette. I guess people just like doing that. That is a fair argument, Taldemar. Or if you don't have the ice mill for that, then you do the other level 100 duties. I'm pretty sure that the Underkeep gives the same amount of heliometry as well. But that's fair. It could be people just like to do their dailies, and they want heliometry, and MSQ Roulette is a daily, and it technically also gives heliometry. That could be it. But it's just funny because it's such a significant jump in MSQ Roulettes compared to what I normally see. My 2-step guide to capping tomes. Step 1, forget to use them. Step 2, do a lot of content. Zab's current expert roulette dungeons give 80 heliometry per run. Roulette gives 60 more. MSQ roulette gives 100. True. So if you specifically roll Castrum, I could imagine that it would be more than straight queuing for Underkeep or the new one. It runs says, "Oh yeah, you're live. I was the Dragoon and Ghost Pack and just now Red Mage." Oh, okay. Hello. Right. Good to see you. Probably also... That's true, Leah. That could be. In that case, it might make sense. There's also the argument that it's a really easy one to do. To dust with you! Down with you! It's also possible that there's just a bunch of players that are just interested in Poetics now, and just randomly. Like, that's perfectly possible too. It's also possible that it's because it's Friday. Because I usually do my mentor roulettes on Mondays or Tuesdays. We're almost there. Wink. Yumika says, if a weapon skill grants a damage buff, does the weapon skill causing it get benefit from the buff itself as well? I think it is random. And by which I mean sometimes, like some of those kinds of actions do. Hazel says, will you ever get around to ultimate rating? We have done some, it's just that we didn't finish, then a new raid tier came out, and then we focused on that. But we had one stream we finished by like trying FRU for a bit. Another stream we technically tried top for a bit, but both of those were like blind technically. We have also been progressing Uwu. We're still working on that one. Let's do a little bit more here. But I believe I would say more often than not, Bozziameka, the answer is no. Because, for instance, Physis, which applies a healing increasing effect, does not apply to itself. A Q when it says 35. I'm pretty sure something like Geishka does not apply to itself. But Asylum... Oh, wait. I will not Q. I will not Q. I just remembered something. It feels like there's like a frame skip. Like, you see here? I'm pretty sure, I can't quite see. It's the sound effect? Wait, now I don't understand. Yeah, the animation looks correct as far as I can see. What's the problem? Visual. Okay, let me try that again then. Oh, okay, now I see it. It's that, right? I thought it was a body animation, which is why I was so like I removed the effects so that I could see it clearly. That's pretty random, yeah. I mean, it's not the only thing that is weird like that. Can't quite make it happen, but sometimes line AoEs look really strange. Okay, I'll Q when it says 25. Halatali. Oh boy. At least I have arrow. Nice, Aerodel. Oops. Yep, an actual pugilist. Bachman has multiplied. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Optional content! Woohoo! Yeah, more XP! And that's the real problem with things like Cutter's Cry. Yeah, people were already like sometimes skipping back when they gave XP, but at least it was like it wasn't as clear cut of a conversation when they gave XP. There was a patch, I think it was in Endwalker, maybe it was late Shadowbringers or something. A patch made it so that XP was moved from the mobs in dungeons to just the bosses. It's a real shame. I specifically remember, it might have been with rested XP, but I specifically remember that the mobile seedlings, you know, the ones when they hatch, gave like 10 times more XP than if you killed the seeds themselves. And specifically, at least with the bonus XP, like the bonuses I was working with, the seedlings themselves gave 6,666 XP each. Which is weirdly ominous. I mean, the 69 one would be more, so that's obviously better, Flaming Knight. Doink. Doink. Just barely caught the pugilist before they teleported to the start of the dungeon for no reason. Oh, loot. Oh, a bomb. I know, Flaming Knight, but I wonder if it was even intentional that they gave 4 6s Because I'm pretty sure that was the number I got with certain XP bonuses. So it's like it might actually have been 4444 or 5555 or 3333, and it just so happened that that then multiplied. Or it could even be some other weird number and it somehow added up just right. It was an Endwalker. Alright. Fair enough. Works for me. I couldn't quite remember. And the thing is, I've learned that more and more often when I'm like, it's a long time ago that was changed, I'll be like, but it couldn't possibly be Endwalker because that's super recent, isn't it? And then like, I often blame Endwalker for something that is actually Shadowbringers. And sometimes I'll do the opposite. I'll be like, that's pretty recent, so I guess it'll be Endwalker. And it's like, nah, it's Shadowbringers. And it's not recent. ...2017 wasn't that long ago. Oh, man. Almost a decade ago soon. Soon. In 2 years. Well, a year and a half. Oh man, here it comes. Oh, he almost had me. We had a Phlegathon flare moment there. Should we run? Can we just kill it first? Wait a minute, we just killed it first. It looked like that mob might have been completely skippable. We just faced just right. Can I open this door now? Oh, I can! Neat. Surprise! It's me! A random giant lizard! Does it do the body slam thing? It does not. Now, where did he hide? Fair enough. Apparently, Sprout does not wait for cutscene, Sprout. Suggestions, apparently. What are those? What are those? Maybe they're not used to not being... Like, maybe they're not used to being the last person ready. Or not used to not being the last person ready. So they just go for it. Enjoy, Mizunagi. Hey, did you know that Summoner can solo this dungeon synced? Doink. Let's see. I'm glad, oh, thank you. I think we'll call it there. I thought it was like, maybe if we get like just a few guild tests, then we could actually smash them out real quick so we get everything. But I have this feeling like, if I commit to doing all of them, then we're going to get like Praetorium. And we're already, we're at a point where I'm like, if we get an extreme, then I'm going to be really, really sad. Because it's just, it's probably going to take a really long time. And, you know, I've gone for 3.5 hours, and now I'm tired. So it's just, now is a bad time to actually get a challenging duty. And if I'm not ready for a challenging duty, then I shouldn't be queuing for Mentor Roulette. I would deal with it, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Cat says spin just to see if it would land on Ninja. I can do that. It would. Hey Lotus, hope you're doing well. There's something I noticed here in Light. People usually have the courtesy to do a ready check in Alliance raids cutscenes, but every single time they end up pulling a 23 out of 24. That also happens on Chaos. But I will say that it is something that is part, like, let me put it like this. There's two sides to it. The first one is that not always is a pull timer, a ready check even sent. But more importantly, in the past, at least, I don't know if that's still a thing, but in the past, there were periods where people would do the ready check, and then some jerk would click no. And wait far enough away that it looked like they were, like, for other alliances, it looked like they were too far away because they're watching cutscene and they wouldn't notice. And then, like, their alliance would be like, no, he's just being an idiot. And you see that enough times, and you'll be like, oh, it's probably just, you know, the boy who cried wolf saying, no, I'm not ready. You see that enough times, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing that, and you just pull. And the thing is, it has happened enough times that, like, if I see someone that is not ready, I will not go, oh, they're probably watching cutscene. I will actually, like, doing and, like, start checking, are they actually watching the cutscene? Because the probability that it is just someone who forgot to click yes, or chose to not click yes to be funny, is really high. Mr. Bright says, why can't I farm the Alliance Fending gear? Because there's a weekly lockout on it. That's pretty normal with current content. It's not even about best in slot, it's about its current content. Like, any argument you put forth going, but the best in slot is 760, could also be used for the weekly tombstone cap. For 4 months, you haven't been able to turn that into 760 without Savage anyways. So, why? I can't say for certain, like, it's probably a case of, you know, monthly subscription and all that. But it's like a typical MMO thing. I didn't even get anything. I was like, I saw, like, there was no gear that I wanted that dropped. It was for roles that I either don't care about enough or roles where I didn't need it. So I was like, oh, I'll just pass on everything. So I didn't get anything. I also enjoyed it very much, Apparently the first boss randomly chooses parts of the fight. Anyway, that was 18 mental roulettes. That's pretty good. We covered most things. For once we only had 2 tanks instead of like 3 or 4. We almost covered every single DPS. That's pretty wild. But if you enjoyed this particular stream, it helps me a lot if you leave a like on it here on YouTube. That tells the algorithm this was an enjoyable stream and like other people enjoy it as well. So thanks so much in advance. And if you would like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link right there in the chat when YouTube lets me send it on the second try. There you will find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days. I usually update it Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams when I put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll in the role assignment room, you'll get a notification whenever I post a video or stream, as well as an extra one around 15 minutes before stream starts, so you can catch it right when we go live. And if you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can become a member of the channel, you can gift memberships, you can use the super chat system, or if you don't like any of that, there's a Ko-Fi link right there in the chat that Aerodil posted. It all helps support me and the channel directly so I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you. So thanks so much for the support. What's the job I've equipped right now? This is White Mage. But that'll be all from me tonight. So good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are in the world, and hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye.